Practical equality and oneness. Let us consider this amazing idea also an ideal. See, it is the only map in existence that also exists beyond existence. This is also the only map that assists all life equally and where all life is in oneness with always. It is also the only way that anyone can assist themselves with, and is also the only place where power exists equal and one for all as one. Place your power in that which you accept as your reality, because it is your reality and you are that which you accept. The problem is honesty. Honesty based on an imagined experience will always bring that which was not expected again based on the starting point from which you are creating. Thus the starting point of what you have placed yourself equal and one with. All beings have examples of this. You accept something in your life and depart from the point that you have to make peace with, as this is the way your life is. In that acceptance you become equal and one to what you have accepted. Thus, your experience now flows from this starting point, and you as your own reality creator now create the experience. Inherent to equality and oneness is the amazing principle of equality and oneness. This means that in equality and oneness exists that will of equality and oneness that will bring forth all expressions of equality and oneness to the ultimate experience for all participants in equality and oneness. This has been going on for a long time, cycles that express itself as creation, created and creators according to equal to and one with. This will of equality and oneness is the absolute meaning of the principle in its absolute manifestation. Thus, this is the divine will of equality and oneness within the principle of, in the beginning was the Word and the Word was God. Fascinating, thus is that all is free to the degree they place themselves equal to and one with what they accept as their reality, and within that manifest the reality, pay for the consequences, go to breakdown, then breakthrough, then set a new accepted premise and parameter for self, and equal and one. Do this again cycle. On a grid line of experience, this looks fascinating. Draw a grid and see for yourself. A grid of 20 squares, each square representing a being in their life and each living in their square, like in a home, is equal and one to their square and try their best to make their square fit them and work for them, and then from their square communicate with other beings in squares to get approval for their square or to state, look, this is my creation, this is what I am equal and one to. See, people do this all the time with the words they speak and the thoughts they have. All of the words a person speaks and the thoughts they have is what they are equal and one with as themselves. Obviously, in a grid of squares where many beings participate, there is another grid, the one where all agree to place themselves in an agreement of accepted equality and oneness, like a world policy statement. That is where war, money, debt, crime, child abuse, religion, education, etc., are born from the combined creative power of all as an accepted equality and oneness. Here an interesting event takes place. If a person does not realize that they are actually creating and participating in the creation of the world, they are no longer equal and one to the combined creation process but become a lesser experience. This abdication of creative ability then is in the hands of another that will do with it according to his or her equality and oneness. And here politics, voting, voicing self come in. The demons are crazy, democracy, something like this. The point where beings have abdicated their equality and oneness in a greater management of the combined grid of expression called the world experience. Strange. They will fight with it individually but not come together and reclaim their power in a peaceful way in everyday expression, to simply work together and in every moment direct and participate in creating a combined reality where all are equal and one. So, imagine, if a few beings realize how things really work and then collect all the power of the masses through agreement called voting, then they may do as they like. Fascinating, this is allowed. So, realize, you are no more than what you accept yourself to be and will thus experience that in endless cycles. Also realize, the ultimate equality and oneness will intervene in every moment, as in every moment exist in each being's life. All expressions of equality and oneness, all dimensions of it and your choice manifest one of these as a placement of yourself in equality and oneness. So, equality and oneness have always existed as the core of the presence of every moment, and the presence of each being is what they accept and prove to themselves to be equal and one as. Therefore, there exist divine will and your will. Divine will, life as oneness and equality in every moment as all as one as equal. Your will, that which you accept yourself one with and equal to, which is not of life but of separation, and thus in this acceptance, manifest, create and birth your reality as you accordingly, together with the responsibility of consequences that flow from this starting point of your will in every moment. Life exists, it's always been here as who we are but have been taken for granted. How? In moments of choice. Yes, here in every moment within and as every being's experience of themselves choice exist. The choice between expressing, living and applying who you are of divine will in every moment for all as one as equal as life, or to express, live and apply your will in every moment that is of separation, that is taking only into consideration you and not all as one as equal as who you are as life. An example to understand would be the following. Let's take again the 20 square grid line structure, with this 20 square grid line structure being the world and each human being existing within and as their own little square, which is defined as their own world. Owning this little square as their life, with their world in their life reflecting themselves within. From the perspective of your will, your application and expression in every moment will only exist of your world within one square, only taking into consideration you as that which you have defined yourself to be according to the definition of what you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to. All of this reflected within your own world as the one square, and experiencing yourself as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to, manifesting within your world in endless such cycles. Continuously existing only within this one square, continuously experiencing endless cycles of manifesting and creating your world as this one square, as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to. Let's take a family situation for instance, you existing within this one square as your home of this world together with your partner and child. What exists within your world within this one square as your home is you, your partner and your child. Therefore, your application in every moment as you will only be taking into consideration you, your partner and your child and all else as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to. So how do such endless cycles continuously manifest by your will which you experience within your world as the manifested reflection of you as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to? You within this one square as your home expressing and applying only your will have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to your family only that exist within your world as this one square as your home defined according to your partner and child only. Thus, you will for the remainder of your life only experience that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to, which is your partner, your child, your home, your family, and this is all that your world within and as this one square as your life will consist of by your will. Taking into consideration only your world as your life as your family within and as this one square and thus all that you will experience by your will as this is all that you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to. How does divine will as who we are as life within and as oneness and equality of all support you here? When you have divine will, understand and see what you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to that is not of divine will as who you are as oneness and equality with all, you as divine will step in accordingly. Break down and remove all that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to by your will of separation and consideration of only your world as your life as this one square and break down the limitations within seclusion of this one square as your life as your world manifested accordingly by your will as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to. When all that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to within and as this one square as your world as your life breaks down and is removed, you will experience a breakdown by divine will, because you have defined you according to that which you have manifested as your world as your life as this one square as the experience of yourself by your will and not of divine will as who you are. Then comes breakthrough, breaking through the boundaries and limitation of this one square as your perceived world as your perceived life designed and manifested according to your will only, that is of separation and limitation, as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to. Realizing, oh my God, there is more seeing and realizing divine will as who you are as life of oneness and equality, realizing that I am this entire 20 square grid line structure, with all human beings experiencing themselves within and as their own singular square as their life as their world designed and manifested according to their will as that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to, of separation and limitation, because they only exist within their world as a singular square by their will and constantly and continuously only experiencing that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to, which only exist as their life as their world within and as this one singular square. Here is divine will. Then as divine will you stand, live and express who you are as life as oneness as equality as all as this 20 square grid line structure as all being still lost, limited and bound to their one singular square as their life as their world experiencing their will as that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to, manifesting and creating justice, which is their will, constantly and continuously lost in endless cycles, manifesting and creating the experience of their self-definition as who they are according to that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to by their will of separation and limitation. Then your application and expression in every moment is of divine will as who you are of life within and as oneness and equality, and so you stand and so you remain and so you live, directing you as all being still lost, limited and bound by their will which manifests as the experience of themselves as their world as their life as only one square within which they experience their will according to that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to in every moment's application, constantly and continuously experiencing only that, only this, which is their will as that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to, manifesting as this one square as their life as their world, and all beings lost, bound and limited within their one square as their life as their world which is the manifested creation by their will within which they experience only that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to constantly and continuously, holds the world as the entire 20 square grid line structure in place, within which they experience themselves within their one square as their life as their world by their will, within seclusion, limitation and separation of the rest of the world as the entire 20 square grid line structure and all other human beings within their singular squares as their life as their world existing within and as their will, only experiencing and manifesting constantly and continuously that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to that is only of their life of their world within and as this one square. Therefore, it is for all human beings that exist in every moment by their will, constantly and continuously manifesting their world as their life of the seclusion and limitation as one square, experiencing and becoming and creating only that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to by their will only, to break down the boundaries and limitations and separations of all that they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to as their perceived world as their perceived life by their will which they manifested and created within and as separation and limitation, and in this moment application by their will still allowing and accepting the manifestation and experiences of all human beings in this world, not standing up as divine will of life of oneness and equality with all, directing all as one as equal to realize themselves as who they are of divine will, to no longer exist within the limitations and seclusions and boundaries of their will only, manifesting and creating and thus experiencing only that which they have accepted and allowed themselves to be one with and equal to within separation and seclusion and limitation as their perceived life as their perceived world. Therefore, divine will is the application of every moment of I am, of oneness and equality with all, and your will is the application of every moment of your life of your world only, within and as separation, limitation and seclusion, only taking into consideration you, instead all as one as equal as who you are of divine will. Therefore, choice exists in every moment's application of you, either of divine will as you or your will as you, where in both situations you will experience the manifested creation of that which you will, in every moment according to that which you accept and allow yourself to be one with and equal to. Here exists the responsibility for each and every single human being, only here in every moment of choice by divine will of who you are as life of oneness and equality for all as one as equal or by your will of who you are as separation, limitation and seclusion, only taking you into consideration as your life as your world. Does choice really exist then here in every moment's application, if who you are is divine will of life, though life had been taken for granted through the belief of the existence of your will through the illusion of choice, the choice being in every moment whether you apply your will or divine will, yet if you apply your will and manifest your world, manifest your life according to your will, which you experience according to that which you have defined yourself by as that which you have accepted and allowed yourself to be one with and equal to, divine will as who you are of life as oneness and equality with all, will step in and direct you accordingly and effectively to realize, while you're still defined accordingly to the belief of the existence of your will as who you are as divine will as life of oneness and equality with all. For men to realize themselves as God, God had to become man, God had to become one with man as man, but only at one point, this one singular point as the moment and the words, in the beginning, the moment was the word, the living word as who we are and the word was God, the moment's application of divine will as who we are as life as equality as oneness with all and the word was with God, the manifestation creation of ourselves as that which we have accepted ourselves to be one with and equal to as the experience of ourselves, the moment's application of oneness and equality of each and every single human being's experience as life as who they are, the moment of application as divine will of life of oneness and equality as who we are as God as all as one as equal. Here exist oneness and equality within and as humanity, each human being's application in every moment of divine will, in every moment's application of oneness and equality with all as one as equal as life, divine will. Here exists who we are as life as oneness and equality with all as divine will. So then, does God really exist? No, who we are is God already within and as every moment's application of divine will of life of oneness and equality as who we are as one with all. We've taken ourselves for granted through separation by existing within our will, supported by the illusion of choice.